Hello, and welcome to Speaking Frankly podcast. I am your host, Janae Frank. Today, I have a very special guest on. His name is Fred Jones. I found him on TikTok. I literally go to church every single day with Mr. Jones. He is my pastor. Are you a pastor?
I am. Yes,
Fred,
ma'am. Yes,
you
ma'am.
are a pastor. So it's okay that it's on TikTok or
Yes, ma'am.
Instagram.
It's,
That
it's
I'm
okay.
getting my message there. But yes, I have him on today to talk about love, life, pain, and everything in between. And today's episode is called Alignment is the Assignment. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for coming on today. I want to ask you, Fred, how did you get started with what you are doing?
Okay.
As far as a market strategist, you are a father, a husband, a author. You have a passion and a purpose for helping people. How did you get started?
Yeah. Well, let me say this first and foremost. Thank you so much for having me on. And I'm excited to be here. I am. Um, and I love conversations like this that are honest, authentic, and actually, help a lot of people. Um, because we're in a world right now that people, that's what they need, right?
Absolutely.
Healing, growth, all those things. So, um, how did I get started? Where did I get started? Well, a lot of people, as you just said, they know me online from my relationship videos, whether it's my prophetic teachings or real estate content, wisdom segments, whatever the case is. But at the core of everything I do, um, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee,
Okay.
passionate about helping people become whole. That is my heart. That is why I do what I do, whether it's in marriage, purpose, business, healing, or faith. I believe clarity changes people's lives. So, again, like I said, I'm born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, I didn't grow up thinking like, oh, one day I'm going to be doing ministry online, speaking to millions of people. You know what I mean? That didn't cross my mind, but, I didn't think that I was going to be teaching on relationships, right? Building businesses, helping marriages and all that stuff. A lot of what I do, Miss Janae, it was birthed through life experiences. It was birthed through pain, through growth, failure, a lot of failure, wisdom, and God developing me over time. So I've been in ministry for many years now, but I'm also, of course, a businessman. I'm a husband, father, entrepreneur, and I think that uh, even in our conversation today, my heart is always with clarity because I believe balance is what makes people connect with me because I don't just speak from theory, I speak from life. And if we just be honest, people today are tired of fake deep. They want real, they want honesty. They want
Absolutely.
somebody that can say, I've had to heal too, I had to grow too, I had to learn too. And I think that transparency is what causes people to gravitate towards me and my content.
Absolutely. Is that how most people find you? Is on TikTok or is it on Instagram? Is it your YouTube channel? What do you think is where most people find you at?
So initially I saw it on Facebook. My greater platform now has become TikTok. TikTok is where everyone
Yeah.
is now. But yeah, most people they find me on social media: Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, um, Instagram. Right, all my handles the same. Fred Joe Jones.
Okay. Okay, absolutely. So you have many books, you're an author as well. And so I read The Alignment Code. Absolutely phenomenal book. How to fix what's out of alignment in your life, relationships, and finances. Do you want to pull a couple of key points from that book and speak on that?
So I'm gonna tell you this one thing about just like this segment you named. You said alignment is the assignment. I really believe that that's the assignment of the duration of your life. I believe that we can be in the right season, but just because it's your season don't mean it's your session. Just because it's your time don't mean it's your turn. And the difference is alignment, right? It's it's
Absolutely.
it's it's not just being in the right place; it's also being in the right seat, having the right posture. You know, I think a lot of people have missed opportunities. They've missed blessings. They've even missed their time to become one, right? Love, because of misalignment. And there's a lot of there's a lot of various reasons and contributors that that's the reason why a lot of people miss. But I think that that's the number one thing. And another thing, I think one reason people connect to my videos
Mm-hmm.
is because I think I say things people feel,
Yeah,
but don't know how to articulate. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
it does. It does.
Like, and that's what I mean about alignment. Like sometimes people don't need another motivational quote, right? They need clarity. They need confirmation. They need language for what they've been discerning. Like they can feel it in their spirit, but it's like they haven't put it into words. And a
That's right.
lot of my content, even like my book, Alignment Code, it touches on relationships, discernment, a big one, emotional intelligence, right? Healing, boundaries, purpose, spiritual growth, because people are hungry for real conversations again. They're hungry
Absolutely.
for real life. And I think social media has created a culture where everybody performs healing instead of actually healing.
Wow, that is very powerful. I like what you just said because in my videos as well, they're very real. My whole brand is called Speaking Frankly, and that's how people want it. They want it straight up. Now yours is faith-based, which also resonates with I think a lot of people, right? People are out there yearning for that. But you don't come from a standpoint of judgment. It doesn't feel churchy as, I'm going to cast you out, or you're a sinner. It's coming from real life experience and it really resonates. And I absolutely love it. I saw your videos and I said, oh, wow, I have to have this man on. And I love how you say, listen to me. You grab the people. Where are you at? Are you in your backyard? Are you at your house?
So I do a lot of my recording, of course, at home. Usually on the side of my home, right?
Okay.
We're here in
Very
Florida.
lovely area.
Yeah, we're in Florida, so
Florida. Yeah.
that's why I do it. And anywhere I could just have peace, I could just flow, I could just speak, right? That's why I do a lot of it. But back to what you said about just the approach. I mean, if you think about we're speaking like faith based. I mean, when you look at Jesus, who was the enemy of Jesus? Think about it. It was religious people. It,
Bingo.
it was the church, right? The
Absolutely.
the the, the church in the in the realm of religious people, and I use that word carefully because I don't want people to take what I'm saying out of context.
Right.
The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Zealots, and all them guys, they were people that had positions. They wore the robes. They knew the scriptures front and back. All 66 books of the Bible, can quote it, can preach it, can do all those things. They had letter, but they had no spirit, right? They knew the knowledge, but they could not speak to the people calmly. Here comes Jesus, an ordinary man, coming, talking to people about parables. He never said, thou shalt this and everything. He didn't talk like that. The Bible said that he spoke in parables and the common people heard him gladly. So
Right.
he was on the level of the person that he was speaking to. So I mean, my content, the way that I come across people, I always try to make sure that people can see authenticity. I'm not praying 24/7. Mr. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I'm not. Like, I love God.
Yeah.
Some people have, a lot to say. I mean, I got earrings in my ear right now. But I mean, if that stops you from receiving from me, I mean, hey, I'm just not called to you. And I think that's another thing. It's vulnerability because like I said, through life transition, I learned a lot of things. One of the things, even as it relates to just ministry and coming across the people, is people want to see vulnerability. They want to see authenticity. And I don't think that I'm all there to think that I'm called to everybody. Like, there's some people, when they listen to me, they cut it off. I do not want to hear what this man got to say. And that's fine. That is fine, But we all have our preferences.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it resonates with me. So
Thank
never
you.
stop with the listen to me. Because
Thank
it's going to stop someone from scrolling. They're going to get some church. They're going to get some message. They're going to get a
you.
good quote. They're going to get a rhyme in there.
She said a rhyme.
And they're going to be encouraged with some real talk. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, what do you think, doing everything that you're doing? You're this multi talented, multifaceted individual. What do you think the number one problem is that people face in relationships and friendships as well? What do you think?
Oh, well, you said the number one problem.
Well, it can be many. Maybe
Okay,
we'll go with top three.
okay. Um, I'm gonna say number one is contentment. I don't think a lot of people are content with where they are. I
Okay.
really believe that a lot of people don't have the understanding to to realize that that not complacent but contentment, like being content, being thankful for where you are. Because there's some people right now begging to be in marriages, and there are people that's begging to come out of marriages. Right? I think that we have to realize that God brings people in seed form. Let's start there. I think the lack of cultivation is another issue because a lot of people want the ending result without putting in the work. Like
Yeah.
I can't take an apple seed and put it in the ground and come back tomorrow morning and think I can take an apple out of that. No, it takes time.
Takes
It's a
time.
process. It's growth, and that's another thing, another problem. People don't have patience. Um, I think love, or I would just say the standard of love, the health of love, whatever relationship you're in, it's all about what you're willing to put in, right? And
Yes.
one thing I've learned about relationships is this: love isn't sustained by feelings alone. Love is only sustained by wisdom. It's communication. It's it's emotional maturity, right? Patience. It's intentionality. I hear a lot of people talking about the type of person they want to be with, right? I don't ever hear about okay, uh, what about resolutions? What have you ever seen that person mad? Like Fred, why you ask those questions? Because that's going to happen in a relationship. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yep.
Um, and a lot of people know how to fall in love,
Yes.
but they don't know how to build love, right? Think about that. Fall into love, but don't know how to build love, right?
Absolutely.
And
Sustain it, right?
yeah, and social media, I got to talk about it. Social media has made people obsessed with chemistry while ignoring character. Uh huh.
Ooh, hey.
Hmm. Yeah.
Say that again for the people in the back.
So social media has a lot of people obsessed with chemistry
Yes.
while ignoring character,
Ooh,
right?
yeah.
And I always tell people attraction may start a relationship, but maturity sustains it. We have to be willing to grow because when you meet a person, you got to realize you're always growing. You're not always going to be the same. There are things you like today you're not going to like in the future.
That's
You know what
right.
I mean? Um, I mean, when you were young, it was all about height and this and that. All those things matter, right? You want to be with somebody attractive. But the older you get, debt being paid off is a lot more attractive than you get what I'm saying. You get where I'm going. Like let's talk about it. And that comes with maturity. And marriage taught me something so powerful. It's still teaching me that you don't just marry a person. You marry how they think. You marry how they communicate. You marry how they handle pressure, how they heal. You marry how they love. You marry how they process conflict. And again, while a lot of people are writing down their prayer list of I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, a lot of it is not real. It's plastic
Real. That's right.
because you're praying perfect prayers when God don't send you perfect people. He sends people in seed form, which means when a seed comes, it takes cultivation to help it grow, watering, planting,
Right.
patience, a little sunlight, right? It's the same thing
Yeah.
when it comes to a lot of relationships. So I think that those are, I name a few issues, but those are some issues that I see.
I like your metaphors. It has me going in many directions because how do you know when to uproot that plant? How do you know when there's too many weeds and you have to go in a different direction? I think it was a video that you had done about marriage, and you were talking about when to know when to pivot in
Hmm.
a relationship.
Hmm.
And how many times I think a lot of religious people think that divorce is as a sin and that it should never, God hates divorce. And, but there, if it wasn't built on a certain foundation, then you can pivot,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so I guess what I'm saying or what I'm asking you is in relationships, in friendships, in marriages, in intimate partnerships, when do you know when to say when?
Right. Right.
What do you
So,
think?
context speaking, um, and when you say when went to say when, are you talking about to leave the marriage? Is that what you're speaking of, or
Yes.
okay, leave? Okay, okay. Um, for the sake of time, I'm gonna cut it up.
Okay.
The number one thing the scripture says, what God has joined together, no man put asunder, and people automatically think that that means that God joined every marriage. No, sir. No, ma'am. That's the biggest lie ever told.
Okay.
Because people say, oh, if it's covenant, then it got to be respected. God is in it. So you telling me, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I gotta, can I keep it real? Can I keep it real?
Oh,
Okay,
please. Yeah,
okay,
this is
okay,
speaking frankly.
okay. Oh, that's right. Speaking frankly, let's speak frankly. Let's speak frankly.
Yes,
Let's speak it
absolutely.
frankly.
Yes.
You see two men come together in marriage. Did God join it? Two women? Did God join it? This is not, and again, this is not hatred, right?
Mhm.
Well, I'm making a point. He didn't join that. Is
Mhm.
it covenant? I mean, it could be God did not join that, right? God didn't join no one coming to you, and even in the context of a man and a woman,
Mhm.
right? Because anything that God joined is going to have the fruit, right? You're gonna see it, and I think that it's time when there is a lot of that. First of all, of course, we know adultery. Adultery, there's no question about it. Also, abandonment, abandonment,
That's what you
abandonment.
were talking about. You were speaking about abandonment, and
Ab-
that's a fascinating topic that I think many people don't speak on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why you don't hear it a lot in church. It's because anything that messes with their money, we want to stay far away from that subject because it is not necessary. Matter of fact, I just need you to pray for your marriage. God gonna fix it. And you know how many people heard that and they not here to tell their story because they stayed with somebody who needed to sit down on somebody's couch, who needed some medicine, who needed a lot of other things, but never received it because they over spiritualized everything. See, I'm not political correct. And again, I don't ever want to be. Like I tell people, hey, you pray about when you ask me to come to your church because I don't do the, okay, we're gonna talk about this and we're gonna stay away from this because in that moment, I'm not being authentic.
Absolutely.
I'm not being authentic. So I think that we have to understand abandonment. What is abandonment? People abandon their what they promised to death do us part, right? They abandon their vows. You know, I think that a lot of people' goal is to get married, but not to stay married. Staying married, it has a list. And I think that when you're in a place where people are being unforgiving, unrepentant, no
Yes.
change of behavior, being manipulative
Yeah.
over and over again, and using the Bible um, as a weapon against you. Well, you can't divorce me because technically I haven't committed adultery. I haven't. No, I can separate. And even
Technicalities. Yes.
and I can separate it. Even in separation, guess what
Mhm.
separation is for? Separation is now it's a judgment of time to see if anything has changed,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Mhm.
judgment of time, and then people come back and say, "Well, you can't remarry," and a lot of those people they're so focused on what you can do that they're not looking at what God said in Malachi. God said He hates divorce, but He also hates what causes divorce.
Yes.
He would cause divorce, and I think that there's just so many people who are religious, who are religious, like They don't understand. Like they bring up the scripture, right? Jesus said, you can't, you don't divorce your spouse unless they're committed adultery. Again, context makes the difference. Don't just read the Bible, understand the context. It was a misogynistic culture during the time, which means that men during the time was divorcing women for anything. They was literally divorcing women for anything. Women didn't back in that time. Now, this ain't the case now. Women back in that time, their currency was connected to their covering. Their covering was their men, the husband that they had.
That's right.
So if a man divorced a woman, what did that put her in? What situation did it put her in? She wasn't able to provide for herself. She wasn't able to
Right.
live. She was an outcaster. So this was a huge issue. So when they approached Jesus with a trap question, trying to trap him. Is it lawful? That's what they started with, right? They already knew the answer. And then
Yeah.
Jesus turned around and told them, "Oh, yeah, you can't divorce your wife unless it's adultery." Why did he say that? Because women weren't committing adultery back then. Women, the only time women went outside was to collect food, right? They was always inside of the house with other children, unless they was a harlot or something of that nature. But again, context makes the difference. And one of the things that we see a lot today, even around this subject, we see a lot of people who don't do the work, right? The Bible says, study to show yourself approved unto God. A workman not needed to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. God ain't calling nobody to be trapped, be abused, misused. Their life is threatening. And people from the church still saying, pray, pray. Wait a minute, hold on. God gave you a mind too. He gave you common sense. Now that don't mean that the marriage can't work. No, you need to use your common sense, or you may be another story that somebody else is telling. You
That's
know.
right. That's right. That's right. Oh, fascinating. I love that. I love that answer. That leads me to my next question. Oftentimes, people speak of in the Bible being equally yoked. What does that mean to you? Because I know growing up, I grew up Catholic, by the way,
Mhm.
in Peoria, Illinois, and being African American, there wasn't a whole lot of Black Catholics in the North, but we still knew about the being equally yoked part. And so for my mother, that meant that you don't necessarily have to come from the same socioeconomic background, but you have to have similar mindsets. So what does that mean for you?
So similar to what you said, don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Unbelievers have a different end goal than believers, right?
Okay.
Some people are just going through life. They're trying to survive instead of thriving. I think that unequally yoked with unbelievers is y'all got to first be on the same direction. You have to want the same things out of life. And belief is the foundation of everything that you're building. If you got a rocky foundation, that house, no matter how high you build it, eventually is going to fall. So we got to understand what a yoke is. A yoke is what actually it connected two oxen. If it allowed them to tread the grain at an even pace. If one oxen became weak, the stronger one had to carry that oxen, right? So if you're unequally yoked, what that looks like in marriage is you have one spouse carrying all the weight while the other one is just laying on him.
Right.
That's why you shouldn't be unequal. One spouse doing all the work. They doing the praying, they doing the working, they doing the healing, right? They're trying to fix the marriage. The other one ain't doing anything. Just falling over. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about even in the realm of all things, right? Children, like one person doing everything. The mental work, that's a mental therapy counselor, Jesus. The mental work, the physical work, the spiritual work. And that's why the Bible wants you don't be unequally yoked, because you're gonna be pulling. You're gonna be so strong, but the only strong one in the house, and the other one is just benefiting off your strength. That's what unequally yoked mean. We gotta have the same. And I'm saying that because foundationally, unequally yoked has everything to do with your faith. Make sure your belief is in the same place, right? Uh, I don't think it's just me. I don't think a believer, like someone of Christ,
Mm-hmm.
should knowingly go into a relationship with someone who has not accepted Christ as their Lord and Savior. I don't believe knowingly. It depends on where you are in your walk with faith. Now, can God change that thing later on? Of course he can, but why would you walk Why would you walk outside when you see it's cloudy? I mean, it's gonna rain eventually. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's an interesting statement. How do you feel? So I get where you're coming from. So say someone came into your life and they were a non-believer. Would that be, I know you're married. I'm speaking of friendship.
Right, right.
That would be an absolute no-go for you
No, you're
or
talking about in a ram of friend or the ram of partnership.
friendship.
Oh, friendship. No, 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 no. Friendship. Because here's the thing: there is a possibility
Hmm.
of something of something fresh. You understand this? I think that two people can coexist in life.
Hmm.
It comes down to what that person is is doing in your life, right? We don't have spirits. We are spirits. We have souls, and we live in a body.
That's right.
So, um, depending on what they're doing, what they're bringing, I would not say you cut yourself off. And if you don't believe in Christ, I can't be around you.
Yeah.
That's like you're overly doing it now.
Okay.
I don't have to uh, lay in a bed with you and spend the rest of my life with you, right? That's not the case. You
Yeah.
know. So this is my mindset when it comes to that. But I
Yeah.
think it's very important. It is very important to have healthy boundaries, healthy people in our lives. Sometimes they may not share the same faith, but that don't mean that the opportunity would never be able to come for them to actually, convert.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shifting gears a little bit, I want to talk about your book, Shifts Every Queen Needs to Attract Her King. Can you speak a little bit on that for the ladies out there who are looking for their king? Mr. Jones, what do they need to do?
I'm gonna tell you this. Number one, go get the book. Number two,
Go get the book.
I
It's
think I think I think this. To be honest with you, foundationally, I think the first thing that women should understand about every man
okay.
is that men see with their eyes. Let's start there. Let's start there.
About men are visual. Is that what we're speaking on?
Initially, I don't
Mhm.
care. I don't care. CEO, thug, wrestler, NBA player, preacher, doctor, construction worker. A servant. It don't matter what. Listen, men see with their eyes. Where am I going?
Okay.
Number one, appearance is everything. Now this sounds funny because you're hearing this from a pastor. Most time, oh, do they love Christ? Do they? All those things. Don't get me. This is important. But see, we don't teach this enough, and we wonder why she man. And I've been praying and I've been fasting and I'm still waiting on my. It's because you're missing something.
Okay.
You're missing something. I think foundationally, men see with their eyes. Okay, let's go there since we're already here.
Okay.
Uh,
That's number one. Men see with their eyes.
men see with their eyes. So that means that women, work. I got to be very careful when I say this, right? Because I don't want to come off a certain way, right? Um, I think that a lot of times we do a lot of spiritual work, but really sometimes it's just the natural parts of our lives that need working, right? And I'm gonna say this again. We just frankly speaking. I think one of the things that appearance has everything to do with confidence. Confidence, knowing who you are, right? Like I don't think some women may not know this, but men can sense a woman who's insecure and a woman who's not. And I'm not talking about based off of what clothes you have on, the posture you have, because you can have a strong posture and still be insecure. It's
Absolutely.
it's a thing. It's a thing that you can discern, right? Your confidence makes up the difference. You get what I'm saying? Knowing that you the bag and all of the chips, right? In a right way, right? Not in an arrogant way, but in a right way. And you move accordingly. You see what I'm saying? And understand when you know you have such confidence, you don't accept anything. A lot of women say, I attract dogs. Well, stop giving out dog food.
Yeah, for sure.
You stop getting out dog. You can't watch this. You can't control who you attract. You can control who you entertain. You can't
Woo!
help it. You can't help that you go through the mall, you go through the store, and you're pulling this person, and you're pulling that person. You cannot control who you attract. You can control who you entertain. And because you're entertaining jokers, now you're complaining that you're in a circus. No, you accepted that ticket. You see what I'm saying? You
I
accepted
love
that ticket.
you use the word joker. I use that word in the video as
Because that's what it is. Joker, they come with jokes, no intention to make you covenant, just conveniency. That's it. So
he's preaching, y'all. He's preaching.
that's what we have to you have to realize. So I think attracts everything. So when you read the Bible, right? Everywhere in the Bible, in a well, in the well, the Bible said that Rachel was on her way to the well, and Jacob saw Rachel. Boaz saw Ruth from a distance, right? The king saw Esther. They didn't know where they was from, who they believed in, who they didn't know any of those things. The first thing that I'm gonna notice is you. I remember when I met my wife. She came in after she's finished working out. She came in. I said, I know that woman. She just finished working out and looked like this. My God.
Aww.
You see what I'm saying?
That.
So I think that we have to understand, even women that's listening who are saying, I think physically that's everything, right? That's important because men see with their eyes, having confidence, but also I think boundaries are so important. And I'm gonna tell you this, I was attracted to my wife because her boundaries. It was the fact that, wow, she's different. She's different, and she was hidden. And because she was hidden, and because she was different, and because she had such large, I would say, walls, I was willing to climb. Because I said, I gotta see what this all about. The Bible says a man that finds a woman finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So I was willing to go in there climb because I was trying to see, like, okay, this is something that I'm not. I don't, you know what I'm saying? You talking about you ain't finna go to the party, you can go back to your room. Why you going back to your room? You got to study or something? No, I don't go. I'm finna go back. I'm finna watch a show. I'm finna go to sleep. You know, like for me, that kind of like, oh, wait a minute. This is different. This unique. She was set apart, and it wasn't that she was doing it because she was trying to be this holier than thou. That wasn't the case.
Right.
It was this is who she genuinely was. So, boundaries are so important. The Bible says the man that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains a favor from the Lord. So when it says finds a wife,
yes,
the first question for a woman is, are you hid or are you available?
Oh, okay.
Because if I got to find you, that means you got to be hidden somewhere. I got to come looking for you. See, everybody can see rocks, but everybody don't see gold. Everybody don't see diamonds. But we know that diamonds, golds, sapphire, rubies, emeralds, all those things are rocks. But the people who find those precious stones are the ones that dig. You want to attract men who have enough discernment to dig for you. You see what I'm saying? They see beyond just the beauty. The beauty was the invitation. The fact that you attract that was the invitation. Okay, I'm attracted. So now I need to. I'm gonna push a little bit in so I can see what's about this person. Right? A man that finds a wife finds a good thing, obtains favor from the Lord, which means that a woman is a portal. She's a portal. Mm-hmm. She's a portal. She releases the favor of the Lord. So I got to discern you. That's why the Bible said find. It didn't say just go and look. No, I got to find you, a man who can discern who you are. Not just your beauty, but your anointing, your talent, your gifting, right? Your purpose.
Yes.
Right? The things I can see that you may not be operating in right now, but it's a job of mine to bring them out of you. That's cultivation. So I think that's important. And then another thing, we're talking about five, a book. I think another thing is stop allowing men to knock you off your feet who ain't strong enough to catch you.
Oh, that's good. I love
that's
that.
big. That's big because that's what desperation do. Desperation is like pick me.
Yes.
I'm ready to be found. The problem is you probably he can't find you. He can't because he don't have eyes to see beyond what he sees. He only sees a body.
Mm-hmm.
He don't see the building. He don't see what God is calling you both to do together, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the difference. Because if you're not careful, again, you're gonna keep on attracting men who want to knock you off your feet. They ain't strong enough to catch you. Y'all had a good time. And what did Usher say in this song? He said, going nowhere fast, we reached the climax. So guess what? When you've made sex your ceiling, there's nowhere else to go after that. That's why every relationship ends there and it never goes past that point. See, Usher was, that's what he said in his song Climax. You get what I'm saying? So I think that that's very important for people to recognize.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, ladies, you hear that out there? Men see first. We have to have boundaries, discernment. Moving on to discernment, I know, on this on social media, people are always talking about discernment. That is the key. And do you feel that in order to have, how do you cultivate discernment? How do you work on wisdom? Is that just something that you have innately? Is that a God-given gift? Is that something that you can work on over time? What say you?
So honestly, wisdom is not something that you just go and find.
No.
Wisdom is given by God. It's given by God. God is the one that releases it. Spending time with Him, it grows your discernment, right? Life has a way of giving you common sense, right? And
Not everyone.
well, right. Not.
It's that common. Let me tell you, friend.
I agree. Common sense ain't coming no more. Time spent with Him, um, but life has a way of giving you intuition, but not wisdom. Wisdom, it comes from the Lord. It comes from above. It's discerning the difference. It's knowing the difference. Solomon, he asked God for wisdom because he saw that he was getting ready to be a king over great many people. He said, God, I need the wisdom. You've given me a great people. I need to know how to direct them in the way that you want them to go. See, wisdom is not just saying, oh, this is the goal. No, wisdom is knowing how to get there. That's the difference. That's what wisdom is, the how to, right? Because people could talk about let's make $1 million. Guess what's the next question? How are we going to? What's the process? What do we have to? What's the framework? What do we have to do in order to? That's the wisdom. That comes from God, and yeah, God gives it for those who ask. He'll give it, right?
Okay. 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 Absolutely. There's a lot of talk on TikTok right now in videos. I'm not sure on your algorithm what you see, but on mine, I see a lot about discernment, about wisdom, about betrayal.
Mm.
Not only in intimate partnerships, but also in friendships. Jealousy, envy, the seven deadly sins. What do you think is the single most damaging thing in relationships for people?
You just said it. I think jealousy. I think us the lack of discernment will cause you to ignore jealousy because you want to remain loyal. You know, you think you're doing a disservice to yourself to cut away from someone who's been so good to you in the past, but you haven't recognized that just because they've been good in the past doesn't mean that they're ready or they're designed to your unfolding. The fact that you're going higher. See, some people they were good to a certain version of you, right? A certain version of you. But man, when you start reaching certain type of accolades and certain levels and opportunities, those things have a way of exposing the darkness that a lot of people hide inside of their heart, right? But behind the congratulations or hey sis, I'm so happy for you, right? They hide behind those things, but I'm telling you, it has a way of revealing those things, and I think that is the most dangerous thing because jealousy is only murder in seed form. That's what it is. And not just murder in the context of your life, but just your character, right? Your name, right? Betrayal, all those things, because jealousy, someone didn't have the discernment or wisdom to see it in seed form, right? That's just something I don't play with jealousy. We watch the Selena movie every year, right? And
Yeah.
this story literally show you what happens when you are not careful. When it comes to your gates, God has given you oil, and it is your job to steward what God has given you. And we don't steward it by just giving everybody access, right? Just because you did a good favor in the past don't mean you deserve access. It didn't give you access into my now. It was good for them, not my now, because my now, I'm growing, I'm wiser, I'm better. And I have to guard these. I have to guard these gates. I have to, because if I don't, my oil will get diluted. I get watered down, right? So some people was good for a previous chapter, but that don't mean they're good for the later chapters, right? So
That's right.
I think we got to realize that, and we got to. I talked about this earlier today. We got to leave expired seasons where they are. We don't need to be trying to resuscitate an expired season, right? Trying to bring back to life what God arrested.
That's it. How do you know the difference of forgiveness and moving on? You know, forgiving, but knowing that there can be no reconciliation.
I like how you asked that question because I actually believe in that, what you just said. Like, I believe you can forgive, but forgiveness don't mean reconciliation. I think a lot of people, they teach that it's forgiveness. No, forgiveness is, it has everything to do with the offense, right? It's because forgiveness doesn't mean I'm giving them permission. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. For forgiveness is not forgetting either. But forgiveness is now the evil act is no longer a barrier hindering my relationship. So I'm able to forgive you or be cordial with you in spite of what you did to me. That's when you forgive, you tell the story differently. So in forgiveness, it don't mean that I forgot it. It means that now the memory is no longer a sting in my life. I still remember it, but it don't sting no more, right?
Oh,
And
love that.
and I think that a great example of this is when we see Jesus on the cross, right? Greatest example of forgiveness, Jesus on the cross. Because think about this. What did he say while he was on the cross? They were cursing at him. They was mocking him. He
Forgive
said,
them, Father, for they know not what
he
they
said,
do.
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But I was looking at the context of that today because what I noticed is he said that while he was there hanging. He said that while he had spikes on his feet and nails in his hand with a spear in his side. He said that when he had a crown of thorns on his head. So in other words, he said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. He said that while he was bleeding. So a lot of people say, oh, they just cut me, I can't forgive. No, if you're still hurting, if you're still bleeding, it's a great time to forgive. That's what I got from that. It's a great time to forgive. And then he said, Father, forgive them. Why did he say that? Because it takes the Father to forgive some people. You can't do it in yourself. You can't. Have you ever noticed, like, I'm thinking about it. Jesus always told people to do what they couldn't do to show them they needed him to do what he told them to do.
Oh, wait, yes.
Like he told a man with a withered hand, he said, stretch out your hand. That man couldn't do that in himself. But when he tapped into the power of the one that told him to do it, he was able to stretch out his hand, right? He told a man who was laid down, who couldn't get up and walk. He said, rise, take up your bed and walk. He couldn't do that in himself, but when he tapped into the power of the one that told him to do it, he was
Yeah.
able to rise up. He told Lazarus, who was dead, he said, Lazarus, come forth, right? Lazarus couldn't do that in himself, but when he tapped into the power of the one that told him to do, he was able to do it. So when he says forgive, you can't do that in yourself. It's impossible to know how can I forgive somebody who broken me, who betrayed me? How in the world? You can't do it. You need him. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I need you to do it. I can't do it in me. So I think that forgiveness is that's what forgiveness is. But also now reconciliation has everything to do with your decision, because there are some people who had Judas and Peter both offended Jesus, right? Judas betrayed Jesus. Peter denied Jesus. Both was wrong, but one is a little bit more heavier than the other one because Peter had a bad day. Judas had a bad heart.
Oh,
Difference. So
there's a
so
big,
so so I restore Peter. I got to kick Judas to the side. No, it ain't no reconciliation. And don't let nobody come with any religious rhetoric to make you think that
Right.
You're guilty
Right.
for protecting your peace. No, man, your peace is the most expensive thing in your life. It's the
Mm.
most expensive thing in your life. It ain't even about all the money in the world. No, it's because people got money and don't got no peace. That's why some people be jealous of you. Some people be jealous of folk that don't even, you be like, how they feel a way about me? Because they got way more than me. It's because you got peace. You got peace. That's what it is.
How do you deal with the haters? That's one of my best videos, Fred.
It's just,
Their hate makes you great.
that's good. That's good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, you said they hate make you great. That's
Yeah.
that's good. And
People aren't hating on people who are not doing anything. Let's just be real.
mhm. So you said two words. It just came out to me, right? You said hate great. What's the one word in both of those words?
Hate.
There you go. That's what you gotta do to haters. Eat. Just let them hate. You eat and you continue to be great. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, some people just want a response, and if you give them a response, you give them a piece of your platform. You get what I'm saying? See. Some of that stuff is really, it's really, it's strategic warfare. Some people hate because they're hoping and begging. You give them a piece of the spotlight God gave you. You got to
Oh,
be
yeah,
very careful of that. Some
that's it.
people don't. They don't. And here's the thing: they pulling on stuff that don't even matter. They just want a reaction. Whatever I can do to get a reaction of her, a reaction out of him, like I'm gonna do whatever it takes. So what they do is they're hoping and praying that you give a piece of what you've been building your whole life. No, you just, I mean, if truth is, some people living rent free. You living rent free in some people head, and continue to live rent free. Enjoy your peace.
That's it. Is there anything in particular that you can spot? I saw a video one time with Oprah, and she was with Gail, and I don't know who was interviewing her, but she said the moment that you sense that a friend is jealous of you is the moment that you need to move away. Because, like what we're talking about, reconciliation, redemption, those types of things, that almost can't be restored because that is so dark within them. That is something that the Lord has to work on with them. And in the meantime, you have to separate yourself and get away from that. And so I was just wondering, with your wisdom, how do you know? Are there signs, that you're thinking, okay, I see this pattern, let me move away?
You, you want me to tell you? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Everyone has a knowing. They has a knowing. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Love has a way of painting red flags white.
Oh, I love that. Love that.
That's
I agree wholeheartedly. You feel it, you sense it, you discern it, but you keep thinking, nah, nah, nah. Yeah.
that's
Yep.
that's the see. Everyone has that filter inside of their heart when they know some is off. And again, it goes back to and I deal with that on a day-to-day basis, even when I'm releasing, when I'm doing content and videos. Like I know what I'm saying is what they feel. It's what you it is. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's the fact that inside of your heart, you know these things are real. Why is it so hard for you to just let again? It's history. See, history does not mean destiny. It doesn't mean destiny. Because again, someone could have been good for you and again, I'm not saying this because I don't want people to take this as people are disposable. No, I don't believe in that. I don't treat people like they're disposable. I'm talking about in the context of someone shows you seeds of jealousy, because I do believe in it. You need to get far away from them the moment. And and you gotta have filters, like especially if you're married, that's good. If you're not married, if you're single, you got a friend or you got someone in your life that's unbiased. You know that this person tells the truth. Those are the hidden gems in life. We don't talk about those people enough. So I just want to shout out to every body that's watching this, you know who you are. Like you're that rock in people's lives. Like you tell the truth and you say the things that nobody else want to say. Those type of people, they are gems. Because here's the thing, they help you filter through fluff, filter through feelings, because feelings have allowed some relationships to still stay together that was supposed to have been dissolved. You know what I mean? Um, I do a lot of wisdom counseling sessions and things of that nature. And this one particular um, client wanted me to publicly, write uh, a story on their life, both of them. And I just told her, I said, I don't take those, and I don't want to do. But kept pressing, like even to the point she wanted to pay me to do this. Right? I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to stay away from that. But what I will do, I will say this. There was an example of where a lady was dealing with a friend who, in
Okay.
so many ways, have proved over and over again that she wasn't a friend. I mean, she was like a godmom to the children, very
Okay.
close knitted. Um, I think the lady fell ill, and come to find out that she was uh, dealing with someone within the family, like her spouse,
Okay.
and it her and her spouse, they tried to work it out, and but still to this day, it's a lot of resentment,
Oh,
right?
sure.
Is a
Yeah.
lot of resentment, and she said, I just can't, I can't move forward. I want my marriage, but I can't move forward, and I don't want to do my children. That she was everything to him, and I had to slow it down. I said, listen to me, listen to me. I said, sometimes people have been the strong one so long in their life that they don't know how to be vulnerable.
Oh, okay.
They don't know how to be vulnerable. They don't know how to not be strong. That situation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and in that moment, that did a lot for it. Was freeing for her. She needed to hear that. Of course, I think that she wasn't mad at her spouse, more so as she was mad at the friendship that remained. And I said, but you told me that God told you, and He was showing you signs that it was time to cut that off. She said, yeah, I didn't do it. And I said, those are the things that happen when we don't. And again, what Oprah said. When you sense that, yeah, cut it off, cut it off, cut
That's
it off.
it. That's it. So there's always signs.
Oh, so yeah. Just to hit on it a little bit. So you the undertone, right? The comments, the sometimes people support is it's plastic. It's not genuine, right? Yeah, you can sense when someone is not genuine. You know what I mean? Like it's something you pick up. Um the comparison, right?
Mhm.
Everybody know what a jealous eye is. It's just things that you could pick up. Overly support is one big sign of jealousy.
Oh,
Oh
fascinating.
yeah, yeah. Let's
Okay.
talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Over and
I'm giving.
support.
I'm giving. Look. I'm working on a book right now about that. I'm actually in that chapter. Overly supporting is a sure sign. It is. It's a sure sign. Why is a person overly supported? Because they need a mask. That
Mm,
mask is support. It's overly support to the point where it's false. It's like, wait a minute, you gonna drop everything you're doing to make sure. Oh, you're just so nice. You're such a friend, and come on now,
yeah.
come on now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you feel like you have taken a path that is a little bit different, like a non-traditional path? And in doing that, have you found resistance?
Mm.
I know that I read that after the loss of your father, that kind of puts you on the path of living in your passion and your purpose. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
Right, right.
And in doing that, a lot of times when you're on a non-traditional path, like we are, I would say we, I think a lot of times people don't understand that, and a lot of resistance can come in, and people will downplay what you're doing, your little this, your little podcast, your little, your little website, until it's not. And you have hundreds of thousands of followers on all of these platforms, and have people fallen off in that time?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, but no. I haven't majority. It's like it is growing. Like no, seriously, like to the point where I woke up, like I just started the YouTube right recently. I started a YouTube, like I always had a YouTube page. I wasn't active on it. I started YouTube
Same thing with me, yeah.
and I just put things on it. So I'm being consistent, right? Um,
Which is hard to do, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. When you have so much that when you
Yeah.
children, your spouse, and yeah, it's a lot. It can be challenging. But have they? Honestly, it's great. I've actually seen numbers climb more, but I would tell you this: um, Scripture says, don't despise small beginnings. Don't despise everything. That's the process before you go. It has to be small. Nothing ever started out big. Babies are born through pressure. And over
Pressure.
time, time go by fast. You're like, wow, you're growing. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's through nurturing. I think consistency is the big thing, but the non-traditional, yeah, and this is where we're headed to. Because if you're looking at it, I mean, technically, this is ministry. This is ministry. Podcast is really it's the I don't want to say church, but I mean the Bible says, so is a man thinking in his heart, so is he. I mean, when people come to podcasts, when they listen to podcasts, they're receiving, they're hearing. This is the new stage. This is where everything is going to. I think that only people that have problems with this are people who are they're not they're not they're behind. God told me, He said, if you know the time, you won't be left behind. If you know the times, we got to be like the sons of Issachar, men who knew the times and they knew what to do in the times, because this is innovation. This is what it is, right? Because here's the thing: you could consistently. It takes one conversation, one encounter shifts everything.
Absolutely.
One encounter. So it's different because you probably ain't grabbing the back of your neck and squalling and hooping and you know what I'm saying, like all that stuff. Because really, I mean, the more you grow, you find out that's it is what it is. But I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
culture. It's culture.
definitely. Do you find that you get downloads? Do you receive downloads from God as to what to say next in your videos?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
Yeah.
A lot of it. A lot of the heart. That's where it comes from. A lot
Hmm.
of it. A lot of the writing.
You
That's where it comes from.
literally are on time every time. It's something I needed to hear that morning, and I'm like, okay, I got my word today. On my way. Can go on my way. Oh my goodness. Well, we need to wrap this up, but I have to ask this question, particularly for my single ladies out there who are becoming disheartened, or just people in general. It's a new age with social media and finding someone out there who is not only equally yoked, but, just on the same playing field. So, what's your advice to the people out there who want to be in serious relationships and they are losing hope? What say you, Mr. Jones?
So I'm in real estate. All right. That's what I do. I'm in real estate. When I see a property, most of the properties we find, they're dilapidated, right? They're leaning, struggling. What do? We come in, we do a rehab. That's what I'm getting to. When you feel like there's no hope, you're leaning, you're struck. You need a rehab. You need a reconstruction, a rebuilding. But that doesn't start physically, right? Because people go and they get their hair done, they all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's mentally. Um, so I got a book, right? I got it right here. Look, your type is why you're single.
Oh, okay.
Why
Okay.
God's choice sometimes looks different than yours. Now, this is for single women, single men.
Yeah.
So in my book, what I'm dealing with is this notion of how our type was literally constructed from our childhood. Somebody told
Absolutely.
you that this is the epitome of a man, or this is the epitome of a woman. This is what you need in your life. This is what you don't need in your life. So what happens is, as we grow, we compartmentalize things, right? We put things in categories, even when we meet people. Oh, they can't be mine. Oh, yeah, that ain't mine. And we do these things based off of, again, our type, right? People don't realize this. Your type was literally constructed from the music you listen to growing up, the movies you watch, the conversations, your uncles, your daddies, your mamas, your aunties, your cousins, anything. It was constructed with all this stuff. And could it be that possibly that was never God's will for your life? Because what
Wow.
you're calling unattractive may be the very thing that you fall in love with. Because you're calling unattractive because you haven't grown to a place to receive something that may be alien to me. And the reason I say this is because, again, I thought I was going to marry. Again, I grew up, and look, we get into types and all this stuff, right? I
Yeah.
grew up. I thought I was gonna marry me a dark skinned girl, right? Come to find out, my wife, I call her my wife caramel. She beautiful. And now again, I wasn't caught up in skin colors and all the different type of stuff. I'm just using this as an example, right?
Right.
Um, the the total opposite of what I once was. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
It's in that. And guess what? I found a marriage I wouldn't trade the world for. It's someone who was willing to grow with me, right? We grow together. We cultivate each other. And what I would say is, hey, slow down, but also make yourself available. When I say make yourself available, here's what I'm saying, because I know there's a lot of single women, because we're talking about single women. Uh, they have a notion of trapping themselves, right? Um, I'm just waiting for the one. I'm just waiting for the one out. You become the one, because when you become the one, now you got choices. You can choose. Say they ain't ready for this. What I'm saying is this is what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Uh, Sometimes I was I went to I was a speaker at a women's conference, and they were laughing because I told them, I said, most of y'all in here right now, so I'm gonna say this respectfully. Y'all come to church, y'all go to the grocery store. Some of y'all go to the gym, and y'all go home. Then y'all post on social media, I ain't going out. I ain't going, that ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I said, that sounds very good, but you still be praying to God for that man. And I said, let me help you real quick. That man ain't gonna come knocking on your door. I said, because it's gonna be weird. That's gonna be weird. You're gonna be spooked out. I said, oh, he ain't doing it. So I said, yeah, you gotta go out. I said, it's nothing wrong. Uh, it's nothing wrong. And then here's the thing, and people got this notion of, well, I a man should chase a woman. I believe a man should pursue a woman. There's a difference between pursuing and chasing.
Hey, man, Mr. Jones,
You
speak
don't, you don't,
on
you
it.
don't chase. You don't chase. Dogs chase. That's why you keep
Yeah.
attracting dogs. You get chased. A man pursue. The difference between pursuing and chasing is chasing ignores boundaries. It don't care what you lay out. You go to sleep at 10? Oh no, you finna get a what you doing text after 10. You see what I'm saying? Boundaries, boundaries. Pursuing respects boundaries,
Correct.
right? Right.
Correct.
I'm strategic in my pursuit of you. I know where I'm going, and once I get you, watch this. I know where we going. I
Yes.
have vision, but I
Ab-
also have steps, right, to get where we
ab-
going. You don't get into the car if you don't got no destination? So why you keep on getting in cars with these jokers who don't know where they going? And now you mad at God because your car on E. Y'all ain't going nowhere. All this driving. Y'all been in this relationship for years and nothing. Nothing. You driving in a car with a man that has no destination. That's why God, before God gave Adam Eve, Adam had a place. He had God's presence, right?
Yeah.
He had work. Stop dating these men; they don't get no job. Now look, y'all got to stop doing this. You know,
Out with this, Fred. He had a place. I love it. I love it. That's good stuff right there. Now that is some good stuff. That is good information. Before we go, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on
thank you for having
today.
me.
Yes. Do you have any advice? I mean, you have so much wonderful advice out there, and on all social media platforms, everything is at Fred Jones.
Fred Joe Jones. So Joe is short for my middle name, Joseph, like
Okay.
Joseph from the Bible.
Yeah.
Fred Joe Jones. So FredJoeJones. Fred Joe Jones. You can find me again. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Those are
Bedside
the
Baptist TikTok. Get your word every morning. What advice do you have for the listeners out there?
just
Anything. It
just
can be
anything.
love, life, pain, and everything in
I got you.
between.
I got you. I'm very big on balance, right? Alignment. That's my thing. Uh, mental health. Mental. I want to say something about that. You know, mental health. I think that's very important. If you're not well mentally, you're not going to be well in other areas of your life. So I think that we have been taught how to. We've gone through a lot, but we've processed so little. And I'm talking about this for relationships, people starting businesses. Mental clarity is everything. When you go through relationships and you go through breakups, like people don't realize, like, hey, that can be trauma too.
Absolutely.
Heartbreak is trauma. We don't talk about this. It is.
In friendship as well.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah, that is traumatic.
Betrayal. So we
Oh,
go through all these things, but we don't we go through a lot, but we process little. We don't unpack. We don't sit down, get ourselves together. So what happens is we're going and we're thinking we're okay when really we're not okay. And I think in the world we live in, a lot of people have made it a problem to not be okay. But you got to realize it's okay to not be okay. So I'm very big on balance.
yeah,
I believe in therapy. I believe in counseling. I believe in emotional healing.
absolutely.
But spiritual healing matters too, right?
It does.
Sometimes people over spiritualize everything. And other times people completely remove God from all healing together. And I think wisdom is found in balance, right? There's some few things therapy helps with, and there's some things that surrender, forgiveness, prayer, worship, right? And
Hmm.
heal. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to, say. And really being online has been amazing, seeing how many lives, just like you, Miss Janae, is amazing to when people say, listen to me, right? I got a shirt. Somebody got a shirt. They got them on there. They call me the listen to me guy. I got different names, right? Um, but it's a blessing to see how many lives I touch, right? People be messaging me saying, your video saved my marriage or your video saved my business, right? I was in this deal and your words helped me heal, right? And like you confirmed something I've been feeling. You helped me see my worth. And to me, impact matters more than going viral. That's the blessing for me, right? It's impact, knowing that, wow, God, this is really touching people's lives. Because when I look at my analytics, I'm reaching millions of people, millions everywhere, different continents, Australia, right? I mean Asia. It's different places. Africa, right? It's when I look at the end, I'd be amazed. Like, wow, God, I said it's going. Views are cool, but transform lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
That's
you're doing it. You are doing it every single day. And I just want to say thank you
oh, thank you.
because alignment is the assignment. And so I want to leave the listeners with this quote about alignment. And it says, alignment is not when everything is perfect. It is when what you do every day matches what you actually believe. And what do you think about that, Fred?
That's true. That's true. No one's perfect. You will never be perfect. There's always something going to be worked on. But if you can show up every day and you can stay consistent and you can be authentic, that's really what it is. Alignment has everything to do with um, God using who you are, not who you're becoming, who you are. And I think that when you're comfortable with who you are, you will then become who God desires you to be. You know. So
Amen.
yeah, that's thank you for having me. I'm
Thank you
glad to
so
be
much
on.
for coming on today. This is the first time I've done an audio podcast. The
Wow.
listener said it's time.
Okay. Okay. Well,
And we are heard all over the world. So,
okay. Great. Great. I'm glad. Thank you.
so thank you so much for coming on today. Speak frankly always. And until next time, take care. Bye bye.